I cannot believe my 11th grader actually just said that. Or I probably can. He's my child. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and today I'm going to talk about teaching textbooks and basically what my kids have said about teaching textbooks, because I know it's a brand new year and so many of us struggle with math. I know I struggle with math. Math has been the bane of my existence in teaching, and I almost didn't even homeschool because I was so scared to teach upper level math. And it like paralyzed me. But when I found teaching textbooks, I realized I didn't have to teach math. And when I realized that, everything else just kind of clicked into place, and our homeschool has been very harmonious ever since. So before I get into the video, I have a free trial. So it's bymandymaltz.com/TT free trial. So I'm gonna leave the link down below in the description box. Just go to that link. That's exactly what we did when my oldest was in 4th grade, and we haven't looked back ever since, and he's in 11th grade now. So try that. They have placement tests so you can figure out where your child should be, and it's very easy to just transition if you're already in a different math curriculum. We had no problem at all switching from one to the next. We just figured out what level they were on, which happened to just be the level, for my oldest, it just happened to be the level of grade that he was in, which made it very easy for us. But there are placement tests for you if you need to figure that out. So while I'm not going to have my kids on camera for, obvious safety reasons and things like that, I did want to actually tell you what they have said about this, because I think it's really important to hear from our kids. And I think their opinions are really important when we're talking about curriculum. And you guys know that I involve my kids every year when we pick curriculum. And, year after year, they have told me, I don't care what you switch, but don't switch teaching textbooks. And they both tell me that every single year, like without fail. So after so many years of that, I just know don't touch teaching textbooks. So we did not start out using teaching textbooks. We actually started out with a different math curriculum. And while that was a solid math curriculum, we ran into some problems around year 2, I think, and we had to switch things up. And I did the free trial from teaching textbooks and realized this is gonna work much better for us. And once we switched, when my youngest was in 1st or 2nd grade, we have not changed ever since, and we've had great success with them. So I have a now 7th grader and an 11th grader. Cannot believe that. I only have my oldest for 2 more years. So in the state that I live in, we have to do yearly standardized tests at the end of the year. Some of us live in states like that, major eye roll, but whatever. I've always been asked about how my kids do in these exams, and both of my kids do extremely well. They score extremely high with teaching textbooks. So just to let you know how well teaching textbooks equips the kids, we never have any surprises or meltdowns during the yearly exam, because my kids are fully equipped for pretty much whatever is thrown at them on these tests. So just to throw that out there as what mom says about it, I'm very happy. I'm a very happy camper with teaching textbooks, and I don't plan on switching anytime soon or ever. So let's talk about my 7th grader first, because he's my funny little guy here. His favorite thing is the second chance. And teaching textbooks has this cool thing on there where they can actually get a second chance if they get some of the problems wrong, which I think is really cool, because, before it's even graded, if they get something wrong and it tells them that it's wrong, they can actually opt to do it again and see if they can get a different answer or get the right answer. So I think that that's really cool that they do that, and my 7th grader really enjoys that feature. So just to tell you what he said, and I'm reading off of his paper here. The second chances are very helpful because you can always go back on your answer and check it and learn your mistakes more thoroughly. He also says it's much better than a textbook because it's interactive and uses funny examples. So there's lots of cool little things in there. Once you get into the enrollment, you'll see like they joke around with the kids sometimes, and it's very interactive. So they'll ask questions and the kids will give answers and that type of thing. And they just type in the answers on the keypad, you know, with whatever device you have. And that way they're not just sitting there watching something, they're watching it be done and then they're doing it together, you know, as the lesson is being taught to them. He also says that they have really cool wallpapers. He loves the wallpapers, and I think daily I see him changing the wallpaper out on his teaching textbooks, which is kind of cool that they do that. You can scroll through and they have just dozens and dozens of wallpapers, and each level of teaching textbooks has different ones, so they always like to go back and forth to the other enrollment and see what, you know, each other has. And because, you know, I have one in 11th grade and one in 7th grade, so they like to see the ones that the other kid has all the time. So about the wallpapers, he says the wallpapers are interesting but not too distracting so you're not bored to death. I have teen boys, so just note that. He says the concepts are easy to learn, which he really likes. It doesn't seem too overwhelming or too difficult for him to learn the lesson that's being taught. He says the concepts are explained in very simple terms with funny analogies, so you keep focused and are able to learn the concepts easily. So let's move to my 11th grader, who is, he's very much like me sometimes, so note that there's going to be some sarcasm incoming. So first he says he likes the short, clear instructions. He does not like things that take too long. School is not exactly his favorite thing. He does it, but he's not like the kid that is super eager for school in the morning. He wants to get things done and be done with it and move on with his life. So teaching textbooks has offered him that, and I feel like the lessons are very thorough, but he's right, they're not being dragged out. So he's not doing math for like 2 hours, which is great. He says, and I quote, this is my 16-year-old teenage son here, "Algebra sucks, but teaching textbooks offers much clearer instructions and makes math suck less. And they have cool backgrounds." I cannot believe he said that, but I can at the same time. My 16-year-old, everybody. And he also says that he likes the second chance answers too. He doesn't do as well in math, or math isn't exactly his forte as much as my younger child. And, you know, he does better with writing than he does with math. You know, some of us are just wired that way. I'm wired that way. But my youngest, he's wired in the science and math area. So, you know, he loves math, where my oldest is kind of like, oh, just get me through this. So as far as the second chances, he says, I feel more engaged in the lesson with teaching textbooks, and they provide second chances if I struggle with certain problems. He says that he also likes the cool backgrounds and the sounds and the characters. So he likes the little avatars or the little buddies up at the top. They both have always loved those. So I'm really glad that they still have, you know, stuff like that in the higher grades. And he really likes the hints. I feel like the hints would have been so important to me too, especially at his age, because when I got to middle school and high school, math really started to give me problems, and I feel like that would have been so important to me as far as like my level of understanding. So he really does like and enjoy the hints. He says, I'm terrible at fractions and I always get stuck on these problems, but the hints that they gave me always got me through the problem. So I totally understand him in that area. And he says, math has a lot of concepts and rules to remember, but teaching textbooks always make sure to review prior material to keep the information fresh in my memory. And that's one thing that he mentioned to me a couple years ago with teaching textbooks that he really liked, was that when he started a new enrollment, you know, at the beginning of each school year, that they didn't just jump headfirst into all of the new concepts. Teaching textbooks is really good about going back and reviewing the prior year's information because with math, a lot of times, especially when you get to the higher level math, it builds upon concepts that are previously learned, and he felt it was really important to have that review. And he's had math curriculum before where they didn't do this and they just kind of shoved him into a brand new year, and he was like, wait a minute, I don't remember how to do this. And teaching textbooks is really good about going back and reviewing those concepts before jumping headfirst into new material. So we're in the first couple weeks right now of school and of his brand new teaching textbooks enrollment, but they're reviewing last year's concepts. So I'm really glad for that, especially because we took a normal summer. We didn't do the year-round schooling that we've done in previous years. So it's really good after such a long break to have that review so they don't feel like they're drowning at the beginning of a brand new school year. And I feel like it really cuts down on the frustration level when it comes to math. All right, so those are the quotes from my funny, sarcastic children. And I hope that it was helpful for you if you are looking for new math curriculum. Remember, I have a free trial. It's the same trial that I did when I was looking for new math, and it might be something that helps you decide whether or not you want to change over to this or if you want to try something new. I feel like teaching textbooks is really affordable, and when they have so much help already, it's like a big tool in my toolbox as far as, just teaching in general, because it's one less thing that I have to teach as a parent, and it's one less thing that I have to worry about. So at the end of the day, teaching textbooks is a huge help to me as a parent, and I feel like it is vital for my kids because I know they're getting solid curriculum, and at the end of the year when they have to do their yearly standardized test, I know they're going to do fantastic on it. So it's just one thing that I don't have to worry about. Thank you to Teaching Textbooks for creating such a wonderful curriculum, and I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you have a great rest of your day and happy homeschooling.